This program is being provided by the 15 members of the Vancouver Educational Telecommunications Consortium. TV Etc., the Vancouver Educational Telecommunications Consortium.
Hi, I'm Jessica Moss. I'm joining you from Master Control at TV Etc. The equipment behind me enables us to broadcast hundreds of hours of local programming every year. You've likely seen us in standard definition on Comcast channels 27, 28, and 29. And now TV Etc. stands on the edge of something exciting and new, its own high-definition channel. In March, the lights go on for channel 328. This new HD channel will carry the best educational access TV shows Clark County has to offer. Before we get too far, let's first find out what exactly is TV Etc. Well, it's a consortium of local educational institutions who have banded together to produce TV programming for the community. The goal is to keep Southwest Washington informed on what's happening inside its schools, to give its students an outlet for their creativity, and to allow young athletes a shot to show what they can do. So who exactly is in this consortium? Let's start with the biggest players, the two largest school districts in our area. Evergreen Public Schools educates nearly 27,000 kids every day. As you can see on this map, Evergreen covers the east side of Vancouver from the Columbia River all the way through Orchards in the north. Evergreen is the fourth largest school district in the state and also one of the fastest growing. Its counterpart to the west is Vancouver Public Schools. Nearly 23,000 students walk its hallways every single day. Vancouver Public Schools stretches from the river up through the Salmon Creek area with Vancouver Lake to the west. To the north lies the Battleground School District. It stretches from the tops of the Evergreen and Vancouver boundaries all the way up to Amboy. It serves approximately 13,000 students. These are the most active members of TV Etc., but there are 10 other members who contribute in a variety of ways. Here's a quick look at the rest. The consortium also includes the Camas School District. Educational Service District 112, which houses TV Etc., coordinates its members and produces television programming throughout the year. Hawkinson Public Schools, Our Lady of Lourdes School, the Ridgefield School District, St. Joseph Catholic School, the Washington State School for the Blind and the Washington School for the Deaf, and the Washougal School District. As you can see, TV Etc. covers a lot of ground geographically, and as you'll see, it also covers a lot of ground in the kind of programming it brings into your home. The most important duty members of TV Etc. hold is to inform the community of what's happening in its schools. To uphold that duty, both Evergreen and Vancouver districts produce news magazine shows, giving viewers unparalleled access into classrooms.
Eighth grader Elizabeth Reynolds is considered a leader against bullying, and she just won the Be a Champion of Your School award from KUPL Radio.
For Evergreen, it's Yes TV. That's your Evergreen schools. Yes TV is produced by Evergreen's experienced producer, Angie Cochran. It features long-form and short stories about the program's activities and academic achievements of the district, and in-depth interviews with the people who make it all happen.
All the construction costs are being paid by state funding and insurance. But ultimately, the district credits the community, including efforts from city and state government to streamline the rebuilding process, coupled with generous donations from private citizens and local businesses to help these students and families through a difficult transition.
When he's not meeting with staff, Brown is dropping in to observe classroom instruction and talking with students to gauge their understanding of a lesson.
Yeah, I've been very intentional trying to get to know folks and try to help them support me in my transition to a new school and a new level.
Organized by the Southwest Washington Workforce Development Council in partnership with Evergreen Public Schools and other local school districts, STEMFest brought together over 50 local participating organizations, representing everything from government to nonprofits to colleges to high tech.
We have something for you too.
Donations of cash and supplies came into both locations throughout the day. Vancouver Mayor Tim Levitt also dropped by to donate a bag of supplies.
Hey, I'm really happy to be here as mayor of our city. I think I love Evergreen Public Schools, and you know, this program supporting kids in the classroom I think is fantastic.
Thanks for stopping.
How you been?
Really appreciate it.
When Governor Jay Inslee walked through the doors of the school for a private tour, he was impressed right away, and he let Superintendent John Dieter know it.
I didn't know it was going to be this good.
On the outside, it's a brand new building 3 stories high.
Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful building. Look at that.
Inside, the governor got a whirlwind tour of Gila High, as it's known in the district.
Vancouver Public Schools has its own news program shot right here in this studio. It's called In the Know. In the Know is produced by Vancouver's Nick Vole, who has a background in local TV news. He brings that fast-paced style to the show, packing in stories from around the district.
Hello and welcome to In the Know. I'm Colleen Jamison.
In an instant, not only had Columbia River turned defeat into victory, it became an internet sensation.
On June 18th, Marlene McPherson capped off her 44 years at Walnut Grove by ringing the original school bell.
Are you checking in? Mm-hmm. Okay.
The gym at Fort Vancouver High School is filled with medical professionals and volunteers, methodically screening students for heart abnormalities.
Culinary arts students from Fort Vancouver High School traveled all the way up I-5 to meet with Seahawks executive chef Mac McNabb.
The 2nd and 3rd graders at Harney Elementary are getting hands-on cooking lessons.
It's Wardell for the win! Skyview State Champs!
And then, in December, the biggest thrill of Miles' life, a trip to the White House.
He shook all the girls' hands and then he shakes my hand and he says, "Hey man."
In the Know frequently focuses on new technology in the classroom in a segment we call We Learn.
Most importantly, the use of devices like these iPads prepare students for college, career, and life.
When the students resume their games, he videotapes the action so he can show it to them afterwards.
The student demonstrating it, just a freshman, is working as a developer for the software company that created this program.
Which would generally come before an and.
Now if you move on to star B, if you move this around, try and
call in your questions at our special homework helpline phone number, which is 896-HELP.
A question from Probability from Killick, who goes to high school at Evergreen, and he asked a question dealing with something called expected value.
If any kind of programming is meant for high-definition television, it's sports. HD cameras have taken sports broadcasting to a whole new level, bringing us closer to all the spectacle, emotion, and action. And sports are something we all have in common, even if you're not a fan. Parents and community members root on local teams because they want to see their kids succeed. And TV Etc. brings that success into your living room. Fort Sports began as a labor of love more than 10 years ago at Fort Vancouver High School.
Celebrating high school athletics when it hasn't gotten too complicated, that it should be that the kids are out there just for fun.
To the left with the basketball. Freeze live right there.
Thanks to hard-working teachers, students, and volunteers with an assist from the school district TV studio, Fort Sports has blossomed. Fort Sports offers more than 24 live boys and girls events every year. What began at Fort has spread. The broadcast schedule now includes every school in the district. The vast majority of the crew for games are students in the district's video production programs who are getting hands-on experience in a professional environment.
Being able to do camera and graphics and direct and everything and try different things. And
some of these kids can go on and get other work potentially, and some of them have.
Working as a team and being involved in a production gives you experience that you can transfer to, anything.
Broadcasts include play-by-play, and color commentary.
Very difficult for the linebackers and the linemen to know what's happening sometimes. Lots of ball fakes from the quarterback.
Multiple camera angles, a live scoreboard, and even instant replay.
I haven't seen many high school sports productions that look like what we're producing.
Oh my, and the pass is complete, and he is going to score 61 yards. What else can you say? That was a long bomb completion, and it was done to perfection.
Not to be outdone, Evergreen has brought high school athletics to the airwaves since the fall of 2000 when they broadcast their first football games.
Taking advantage of the hole. Line drive just fair inside the bag at third and into left field. Rounding first, Gill's gonna coast into second base.
Well, we have put some points on the board by attacking the hoop.
Olsen from the baseline. Done to follow. 23 to go in the first quarter. Kangaroos possession. Throwing. Pass picked off by Cole. Racing for the end zone. Touchdown, Evergreen.
Union High School has a big game tonight. The Titans are in the playoffs, faced against Auburn High School. But way before the teams and fans arrive, Evergreen Sports is setting up to tape the game. Angie Cochran, Evergreen School District's video production coordinator, along with a crew that includes high school students, arrive about 4 p.m. to set the cameras and equipment in place for the 7 p.m. tip-off. It's great work experience. Students explore potential careers, learn responsibility, work in a team, and see the big game, even if it's through a viewfinder.
I like getting right in with the action, you know. Floor camera, sometimes the balls come right towards you and you get a good shot.
It takes a lot of training of new crew, but Angie likes to see students' skills grow.
The hardest part, I think, is when they have to actually watch the game carefully, follow the person who made the shot, made the basket, and go in really tight quickly. So once they get that down, you can really see they're picking up the skills.
Across the timeline, down to the near side.
Ready, three, take two.
This fall, for the first time, Evergreen Sports and Game of the Week will be cable casting football and volleyball in HD. And yes, Union beat Auburn 69-35 and went on to state. To the north, Battleground High School produces its own sports programming.
17, Justin Smalley.
Video production teacher Jason Foster gives his students opportunities to learn, not only in the classroom, but in the field. He and his students produce a wide-ranging slate of sports throughout the year that includes football, soccer, volleyball, basketball, and even sports that don't often get on TV, like wrestling.
My parents meant to send me to a junior high school. I panicked because I knew that I would be the only one in a hearing class. I begged my mother to send me to the school for the deaf.
That's just the tip of the iceberg, but let's take a moment to learn more about TV, etc.
Hi, I'm Rose Yandel, the coordinator for TV, etc. In 1979, before there even was cable in Clark County, the Vancouver Educational Telecommunications Consortium, or TV, etc., was born. When cable did come to Clark County in 1981, channels were set aside for community use as part of a local 10-year franchise awarded to Cox Cable at the time. Because the cable company uses the cities and counties right-of-way along roads to run cable, our local municipalities required Cox Cable to give something back to the community. Along with CVTV, the local government channels, and FVTV, the local public access free speech channels, there's us, TV, etc., bringing you educational programming from your schools on 3 channels, 27, 28, and 29. TV, etc. was conceived as an independent consortium of Clark County public and private schools who consolidated resources to provide educational programming to the community. We've changed over the years. Not until 1999, after a new franchise agreement, did TV, etc. receive capital funds to help purchase equipment to make programs for the local channels. And that's how TV, etc. became your source for local educational news.
Part of TV Etc's move to HD is the introduction of on-demand programs through your Comcast cable box. In the same way you can catch up on your favorite sitcom or drama, you can find local programs. Let's take a look at how. First, hit the on-demand button on your remote control or access it from the menu. Once you're in, scroll down to the Get Local button. After that, click on TV Etc. and pick your program. The shows on demand are refreshed every month, so be sure to check back often.
Hi, I'm Nate Macon. I'm the physics teacher at Skyview High School. And I'm also the host of a show called Science. To commemorate TV Etc's move to the world of HD, they asked me to explain the difference between high definition and standard definition TV. My first response to anything they usually ask me to do was absolutely not. But somehow they got a hold of my mom and they got a hold of a few photos of me from middle school, and so I promptly changed my mind. I'm also really sorry. So I thought we'd start this whole thing off with a little segment from our show called Famous Scientist.
Today's famous scientist is a true American innovator, Philo Farnsworth. When he was just 14, Farnsworth began to sketch out ideas for his most important invention, the first electronic television. He was a farmer's son, and from his father's plow in the field, he got his idea of a screen full of scanning lines going back and forth. Farnsworth had a working prototype of the TV at the facial hair growing age of 21.
In the decades that followed Philo's big invention, the only big change was the move from black and white to color. Philo Farnsworth, way back when, actually predicted high-definition TV, and development started in the 1980s. But it took until the 2000s for it actually to be available to consumers. So what's the difference? Well, first, the shape of the screen. Standard definition TV, the kind most of us grew up with, is presented in a 4:3 ratio. That works out to be 480 pixels high and 640 pixels wide. Remember those numbers. Now let's talk high definition. It's presented in a 16:9 ratio, so it's longer and flatter, more like the movies than traditional television. In most of the world, there are two types of HD TV. The clearest is 1080 pixels high and 1920 pixels wide. The smallest is 720 pixels high and 1280 pixels wide. Again, compare that to standard definition, which is just 480 pixels tall versus 640 pixels wide. When you're buying a TV at the store, you'll often hear those heights, 720 or 1080, when the salesman's talking about your choices. The bigger the number, the better the picture, right? But what does it really mean? We're shooting this in 1080, so it fills the whole screen. If we bump it down to 720, you can see a big part of the screen disappears. If you have a 1080 TV, it stretches the signal out to fill the screen, which makes the picture look worse. Now, if we were in standard definition, check out how little of the screen there is left. Guys, my eyes are up here. You can see there are way fewer pixels or lines of resolution. So if you're watching on your 55-inch TV, 1080 TV is going to blow up that SD signal to fill the screen. And that's probably the only way possible to make me look worse on television. I just touched the surface with the science behind this, so go online to find out more. HD's amazing to watch movies, sports, and even everybody's favorite science show.
Thanks, Nate. His show Science uses humor and experiments to teach about physics, engineering, and other scientific topics.
3, 2, 1. There was a hit. Boom, right in the face.
In 2013, Science won a regional Emmy for Best Health Science segment, beating out Public Broadcasting and a network affiliate from Seattle. With the win, Vancouver Public Schools is one of just a handful of districts around the nation to earn an Emmy. This was the third Emmy nomination the show and district have earned over the last 2 years. Science airs on TV Etc. as part of the VPS Power Half Hour.
The Power Half Hour.
The Power Half Hour features mini-shows hosted by Vancouver Public Schools staff. On Dave's Kitchen, Fort Vancouver culinary arts instructors Dave Finney and Dave Angel show us how to make delicious food at home.
Welcome to Dave's Kitchen. Hi.
It's On the Job with Steve.
On the Job with Steve follows Vancouver Public Schools Superintendent Steve Webb as he tries out somebody else's job for a day. In the greenhouse, Fort Vancouver horticulture teacher Amy Sidron gives helpful hints to the home gardener.
The clove is what you actually chop up and put in your vegetable dishes or to season pasta. And then this is also what you grow.
In addition to its news program, In the Know, Vancouver Public Schools also produces a talk show called Snapshot. Host Elena Buller brings guests from around the district to talk about the latest trends in education and gets in-depth about what's happening in Vancouver classrooms.
And the big effort this year is to end bullying. Why is that such an important topic? I mean, it's very relevant. So.
Right. We sort our waste into recyclables, compostables, and trash. And we have students in our cafeteria that help our kids to sort out those things. And all of our food waste and paper waste, instead of going to the landfill, will go up to Seattle and be turned into compost that can be used in the garden. So it's really natural recycling for our kids.
Every episode features the Snapshot Profile, introducing us to a member of our community who has a remarkable story to tell.
But behind the big smile and quick jokes, Colby dealt with the unthinkable in February. His mother, Carolyn, died suddenly as a result of complications from breast cancer.
When you're going to offer sighted assistance, you would first ask the person, would you like some sighted help today?
Yes, please.
Then I will touch John's arm with my hand so that he can easily locate my elbow.
One of the proudest moments a parent can have is to see his or her child on stage at a school concert. But if you can't make it to the auditorium, TV Etc. is pleased to bring those performances right to you. When Evergreen Public Schools brings its mobile production unit to a school for a band, choir, or orchestra performance, it's a big deal. The district TV crew prides itself on bringing performances to life with top-notch audio and dynamic camera work. From all district honors concerts to winter and spring festivals, students, along with the district's music programs, get a chance to shine. Of course, Evergreen isn't alone in taking pride in its music programs. The team at Battleground High School brings the same all-hands-on-deck approach to music that it applies to sports.
I've been praying each night for someone exactly like you.
The team produces a number of events throughout the year, highlighting the best young musicians at Battleground. All of the concerts broadcast from Battleground and elsewhere are also available on DVD from TV Etc., so you can enjoy them for years to come.
A word in your ear! Sir, I say to you, it is thought you are a false knave.
We were able to record our recent play here at school, which was Shakespeare, and it was our first HD broadcast here at school that's going to be aired on this channel. And it was great learning how to do HD, which is different than any of our other broadcasts.
Vancouver Public Schools also turns its concerts into learning opportunities for students learning video production. video programs at each of its regular high schools, plus Vancouver School of Arts and Academics, have their own video switcher and high-definition cameras to capture performances throughout the year.
It can get really complicated sometimes, just like everybody freaking out if something goes wrong, but I think it's kind of nice to have that experience and being able to be put under pressure but still knowing how to handle it.
This is a really unique way to not only help support the actual performance, but then to also be able to record it and have for years and years as a keepsake.
And across town at Evergreen, their mobile production unit goes out to locations throughout the district to cover dance and drama performances.
But the time has come for a murky plan, for which I turn to a murky man. Find that fiend we're better than.
Although Vancouver is part of the Portland broadcast footprint, you've likely noticed that local news broadcasters have a tendency to stay on their side of the river. That's why local access channels like TV, etc. are so important. The content on our channels directly reflects and affects the lives of our viewers. Throughout the show, you've heard me talk about students in video production programs. TV, etc. is a valuable outlet for their creativity. In the Young Filmmakers Project, students in Vancouver Public Schools showcase their work. The Student Showcase gives Evergreen Public School students an outlet of their own. Documentaries, animation, and student films all get their turn in the spotlight.
Chopped up MTV, heavily edited reality television culture, everything is so fast and nothing is really explored beyond just the surface level of things.
But not all school programs focus on film. Some of them are training future journalists. In Skyhawk News, 5th graders share what's happening at Sacagawea Elementary School. From science fairs to special guests, every 5th grade student plays a role and learns valuable technology and communication skills. At Columbia River High School, students study broadcast journalism and share their stories on CR News.
It's a great day to be a chieftain.
Имеется 3 уровня. Обычно дети в возрасте от 5 до 10 лет посещают начальную школу. Школьники в возрасте от 11 до 13 лет ходят в 6, 7 и 8 классы средней школы.
Throughout the year, the providers for TV, etc. also produce special programming, such as the annual Patty Health Parade and Culture Parade. Plus, many of the high school graduations are broadcast either live or on tape. To see full schedules for all of TV, etc.'s channels, head to the website. It's esd112.org/TV, etc. You can see it right there on your screen. You can also order DVD copies of our programs from that website, or contact us with your comments or questions. You already know this, but we live in a pretty special place. It's hard to go anywhere without running into the smiling faces of people you know. And it's an especially great place to raise kids. A big part of that is our high-quality schools. TV, etc. will continue to bring you their stories, and now in sparkling high definition. We can't wait to get started. Thanks for watching. I'm Jessica Moss.
Hey guys, can I have those photos back now? Like, seriously, I don't even know how you got my mom's email, and I don't know why she sent them to you, but I would really appreciate having those back. Huh? It's not cool. I wasn't a fully developed human at that point. I think it would be really unfair if you were to air them.
Whoa.
Please?